I'm Courtney. Standing on the stage, the thunderous applause washes over me like a tidal wave. I look out at the sea of faces, and in that moment, I feel truly seen. It's been a year since the fateful engagement party, and so much has changed. But the memory of that night, the night my life was turned upside down, is still as vivid as ever. My family, once the center of my world, had always made it clear that I was the black sheep. My parents, Richard and Vivian, were obsessed with social status and appearances. They doted on my brother, Leo, who was charming and good-looking but had little substance. He was constantly chasing after the next big thing, hoping to land a wealthy bride and secure our family's place in high society. I, on the other hand, was a biomedical engineer. I spent my days in a lab, working on a project to develop affordable pediatric prosthetics. It was a passion of mine, but to my family, it was a source of embarrassment. They thought my work was boring and unworthy of mention in social circles. The engagement party was supposed to be a celebration of Leo's upcoming marriage to Iris, the daughter of a wealthy businessman, Mr. Thompson. When I arrived at the Thompson estate, I felt like an outsider. I was wearing a simple dress from a department store, while everyone else was dressed in designer gowns and tuxedos. My parents greeted me with cold stares and hissed warnings not to embarrass them. "You're here to blend in, Courtney," my mother whispered harshly. "No talk about your work. Just smile and be quiet." I found my seat, which was tucked away in a corner, far from the main action. I watched as Leo schmoozed with the guests, laughing at jokes that weren't funny and making empty promises. Iris, on the other hand, seemed kind-hearted. I saw her helping a waiter pick up a tray of broken glasses, and I knew she was too good for my brother. As the night went on, I was approached by an elderly woman named Mrs.
Green.
She was a legend in the medical tech world, and to my surprise, she knew about my work. "I've read your papers, Dr. Courtney," she said. "Your research on affordable prosthetics is truly groundbreaking. Mr. Thompson has been following your work for years." I was stunned. I had no idea that Mr. Thompson, a man of such wealth and influence, had any interest in my research. Mrs. Green told me that he had tried to contact me a few years ago, but I had deleted the email, thinking it was a spam. Before I could process this information, my parents noticed me talking to Mrs.
Green.
They rushed over, trying to pull me away and apologize for my supposed rudeness. "She doesn't know when to keep her mouth shut," my mother said, glaring at me. I was hurt and angry, but I held my tongue. I didn't want to cause a scene and ruin Leo's big night. But then, something unexpected happened. Mr. Thompson took the microphone and started to speak. "I've done my due diligence on the families involved in this union," he said, his voice calm but firm. "And I found something quite interesting. While I've heard a great deal about Leo tonight, I've heard nothing about his sister, Courtney." He paused, and the room fell silent. "Where is Courtney?" he asked. I felt like the world had stopped. My heart was pounding in my chest as I slowly stood up. "I'm here," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Thompson smiled when he saw me. "There she is, hidden away in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Courtney, the director of a remarkable project on affordable pediatric prosthetics. She's been working tirelessly to change the lives of children in need, and I've been following her work for years." The room was filled with murmurs of surprise. I looked at my parents, and their faces were a mixture of shock and horror. They had tried so hard to keep me in the shadows, but Mr. Thompson had just pulled back the curtain. As I walked towards the stage, I felt a sense of determination. I had been invisible for far too long, and now I was ready to step into the light. Mr. Thompson introduced me to the guests, highlighting my achievements and the importance of my work. My parents tried to defend themselves, saying that they didn't want to distract from the engagement. But Mr. Thompson wasn't having it. "Most parents would be proud to have a daughter like Courtney," he said. "She's a true pioneer, and you should be shouting her achievements from the rooftops." After the party, Iris approached me. She was heartbroken but also grateful for the truth. "I had no idea," she said. Leo has been lying to me about so many things. I told her the truth about my family's treatment of me and Leo's lack of substance. She decided to take a step back and evaluate her relationship with him. But my family's retaliation didn't end there. A few days later, I received a notice of a financial audit on my lab. It was an anonymous complaint accusing me of financial irregularities and mental instability. I knew it was my family's doing. I didn't let it break me. I started to dig into the situation, and I discovered that Leo had filed a provisional patent on my research, listing himself as the primary inventor. He had used Iris's social capital to hire a lawyer and try to steal my life's work. I went to Mr. Thompson for help. He offered me resources, but also challenged me to fight my own battle. With his support, I hired a forensic IP attorney, and together, we uncovered even more secrets. I learned that my father had forged my signature on a large loan to fund Leo's failed startup. They had been using me for years, and it was time for them to pay the price. A meeting at the Thompson estate was called to resolve the issues. When I arrived, the atmosphere was tense. Iris confronted Leo about the patent, and he tried to make excuses. But Mr. Thompson had all the evidence, and he made it clear that the era of deception was over. Leo begged me to fix the situation, to lie for him, but I refused. "You've used me long enough, Leo," I said. "It's time for the truth to come out." In the end, Iris broke off the engagement. My parents were furious with me, but I didn't care. I had finally freed myself from their toxic influence. The investigation into my lab cleared my name, and the patent challenge was dropped. Mr. Thompson then offered me a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to start a standalone philanthropic foundation focused on my research. I accepted, but I had conditions. I wanted a firewall between the foundation and his business, governance with experts in the field, and complete transparency. Mr. Thompson agreed, and he named the foundation the Thompson-Courtney Pediatric Mobility Initiative. When the news broke, my parents tried to reconcile, but I saw through their false smiles. I told them that they could attend the public events as guests, but they would never be in the spotlight again. Now, as I stand on the stage at the foundation's anniversary event, I look at the crowd. I see the faces of people who believe in me and my work. I see Iris, who has become a dear friend, and Mr. Thompson, who has become a mentor. And in the distance, I see my parents sitting in the general seating area. They try to wave, but I just smile faintly and turn away. I've come a long way from the girl who was told to stay quiet and invisible. I've learned that the truth will always prevail, and no one can keep me from achieving my dreams. I'm no longer afraid of the shadows because I've found my own light.